Oh, hey, how's it going? Check it out. I wanted to talk about what just happened recently. Very exciting news here in Portland, Oregon, with a church. There's a church in town that does an annual pig roast for their Labor Day weekend celebration. And we, DXC, decided to do a disruption at the church at their Sunday service coming up in order to get them to stop the pig roast. But what we also did was I decided to write a letter. So I wrote a letter to them and I sent it and didn't hear back at first, but then I did. And some people had expressed interest in wanting to know about the letter. So I'm going to read people wanted to know, what did you send them? What did you say that got them to just stop it? And I'll tell you what I did. I'll read it to you. And also, I think that, our event, the disruption, which the idea was to disrupt the service, the Sunday service, DXE style, go in there, do speak outs and call and response and chants and with signs and let them know, wake them up, disrupt this business as usual. And then I also wanted to follow it up like every Sunday, at their service, like outside of the service, to have, signs, protest signs, and do outreach with, with materials and get the congregants to just like force them to have the conversation by being out there outside of their Sunday service. But it never had to get there with this church. But I also have the idea, I feel like, churches and faith-based groups and synagogues and places like that, that's a great place for us activists to be hitting, animal rights activists, because it's low-hanging fruit. Their values, Christian values, and whatever their values are, right, of compassion and justice and kindness and mercy and empathy. To call them out on it and say, hey, if these are your values, then where does killing animals and eating animals and exploiting them, using them, violence against animals, harming animals in any way, especially have them look at their scriptures and things like that and really make a conscious decision rather than just like following the status quo. So I'll read you the letter that I wrote. And by the way, they did respond. Not at first, but they did have some circumstances, but they did respond. And several of them responded, their pastors and their, church administrators and things like that. And then they invited me to have a meeting with them, which I did. And it was great. It was incredible. So I'll tell you all the great news, but first I'll read to you what I sent them so people can see that it's about creating connection. It's about creating relationships. And, and I'm not even going to mention the church because it's not personal. And I'm not interested in vilifying any individuals or any institutions. I was so moved by when I had the meeting with them. I was so moved by how they were that I learned so much. And it just inspired me. And they were wonderful. So I have nothing against anybody. I don't have anything against anybody. So, we just got to keep all of us. If you are against animal cruelty, you have to start doing things like this. And I'll show you what I did. So, dear Reverends, blah, 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 I'm reaching out to you on behalf of Direct Action Everywhere, DXE, an animal rights network of ordinary citizens organized based on the model of grassroots networks in the history of nonviolent social justice movements. My reason for writing is regarding your church's upcoming annual pig roast on Sunday, September 3rd. My concern about the pig roast is that it sends a message to your congregants that animals' lives don't matter, that it's okay to celebrate a holiday by publicly roasting an animal that wanted to live as much as you or I. We strongly believe that animals' lives are their right and that killing them is violent and unjust no matter how or why it's done. Pigs are highly intelligent and sentient beings who feel pain and fear and pleasure and joy just as you and I do. Just because they can't drive a car or write an essay or deliver a sermon doesn't make it morally acceptable to confine, kill, and eat them. The question is not can they reason, but can they feel? Can they suffer? I understand that the pig roast is a beloved church tradition along with a picnic, but I'm asking you to take a deeper look and ask yourselves if glorifying the roasting of a pig is truly in alignment with your values of peace, nonviolence, compassion, and equality and justice for all. If, after genuine reflection, it is not, then I implore you to do the right thing and call off the upcoming pig roast and just keep it a picnic, a true celebration of life and love. I see that you have an advocacy and social justice program that, according to your church, includes, quote, broad social, economic, and ecological justice issues such as poverty, debt, homelessness, hunger, creation care, health care, and emerging issues at local, state, national, and international levels. Why not expand your circle of compassion why not expand your circle of compassion and justice to include animals? I also ask that you, blah blah church, lead the way and end this archaic and cruel practice, starting with this year's pig roast, and publicly announce to your congregants why you are no longer blindly following a tradition solely because we've always done it this way. There are many practices throughout history of various cultures, communities, and societies that have been rendered obsolete and even barbaric as they evolve in consciousness. Waking up to the truth does not have to be a long, drawn-out process. As you might agree, anyone can have a spiritual awakening in an instant, but only if they open their heart and mind. I am asking you to do just that. I'll skip over this part. I just go right to, please consider that there is nothing sacred about murdering an innocent and vulnerable being for the sake of tradition and taste. This pig has done nothing to deserve this gruesome and unjust fate. Why would a house of God condone and be responsible for something so cruel and so violent? I would like the chance to sit down with you at your soonest convenience to explain my perspective, hear your thoughts about Christianity and the killing of animals, and to urge you to end this annual ritual before the next victim is killed, not after. Time is of the essence. I don't know the Bible, but I'm pretty sure a benevolent God did not intend to exclude animals from "thou shalt not kill" and "do unto others." I would also add that if you want to determine if something is humane, ask yourself, would you want it done to you? And if the answer is no, then consider that you have a moral obligation to do the right thing. Once we know better, we do better. I look forward to hearing back from you and to sitting down for a meaningful conversation regarding this urgent matter. Respectfully, Danny Rukin. So that's what I sent them. And like I said, I heard back. We set up a meeting, but then they also said this. Dear Danny, thank you for reaching out to the church. And then I'm just going to skip over right to the point. We've agreed to cancel the pig roast. Yay! We've agreed to cancel the pig roast. Fortunately, the pig had not yet been ordered, so you have helped save the pig. And then I'll scroll down. We will also not plan to have any pig roasts in the future. Ever. It's incredible. So, and then they talked about a number of our staff members are vegetarians and vegans, and we've hosted an animal theology conference in the past. So there are many people among our members who understand and share your concerns. See, sometimes it's just a matter of saying something, right? And then this has been an ongoing maybe issue in some manner, and then somebody comes along like me and says, yo, no pig roast, ixnay the pig roast, and it just was the right thing, you know what I'm saying? So it's always like just another reminder, just do it. And then they said that we welcome, so for the meeting they said we'd welcome any printed materials to bring with me, and boy did I bring them. I brought, a little bit of everything. And any materials you might have on animal rights and related issues, so that they can to help us think of ways to share this information with the congregation. This is the beauty, this is the community aspect. We're in this together, and it's about building something larger. It's a much bigger thing than It starts with the pig roast, but this is going to be the beginning of the story. It started with the pig roast. That's the story that I'm interested in. And, then they said, I'm hopeful that, you won't feel it necessary to disrupt worship this coming Sunday. And we don't. I gave them my word that we wouldn't be disrupting. There's no reason to, right? If this is the whole point, is to have this. None of us really want to go and do this. I don't enjoy going and making people feel uncomfortable and making a fool of myself. And I don't. But I will. And I will continue to do it. I think the whole purpose is, send a letter first, let them know, give people a chance. And then if not, then it's like, all systems go, right? So, I just, that's the beginning of great things. That we're also talking about them creating a animal rights and vegan type group program there. And I sent them, I followed up, they followed up with me, they said blessings to you. Oh, and in the meeting, you know what they said to me after, I was just they said, your passion, and it's very rich, and it was very powerful, blah, blah, blah. And they go, you're an evangelist. And I was like, whoa. And then I've heard this term before. I said, I'm how do you say it? Vegangelist. I'm a vegangelist. So I guess that's what I am. And I'm going to vegangelize. PETA sent us a bunch of, why Christians should be vegan. And it's, it just has the various things. Oh, so I sent them, they wanted information. And so I sent them information on, I sent them the usual. I said on Netflix, you can watch Forks Over Knives, What the Health, for the health related. And on Netflix, you can also watch for the environment related, Cowspiracy. And I told them they can also download, stream for free, Earthlings, which is an absolute must. And I also gave them the link to the video, Why Vegan? It's like under 5 minutes, and I said, watch this right away. I also recommended that they read a book called Dominion, which I got from PETA. It's called Dominion, and it's about Christian and faith-based. And Dominion, the cruelty of man, the suffering of animals, and mercy. And they are going to read it. They've agreed to read it, and they're looking forward to it. They really want to read it, and so I should read it too. I'm looking forward to it. And what else? Oh, I also gave them the link to Okja, which is also on Netflix. That's the recent full featured movie about, this Korean girl and her super pig, and it's really a powerful movie. And I also said to them, I want them to watch Okja and talk to them then about screening Okja at the church and just having that be some kind of Friday event, whatever they do, some version of that. So it's very exciting, and I just am so grateful and I'm looking forward to doing this with other churches and reaching out to communities, because the whole point is for us. Oh yeah, check out my shirt. Check it out. Vegan muscle. That's my left. That's not even my right. But and also just a little, Rocco's sleeping, but remember, he's like a little, look at the baby, he's like a little piglet, this is what, we've been seeing a lot of stuff lately at vigils and things like that, and if people haven't seen James Aspie's recording of when he was at our Portland Animal Save video a few days ago, we were out there. It's really great. It's really incredible, and it's very, very hard for us as activists to constantly be witnessing the incredible suffering. It's traumatizing, and that's why I do a lot of cooking and just try to suck less. You know what I'm saying? So over and out. Go vegan, and I hope this helps clear things up for people. And I just encourage people to do various versions of this with their own personality, their own style, in their own community. And I'm here to help. So if you have any other ideas or questions, reach out and let me know. All right? Over and out. Go vegan.